Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam, and welcome back. The Life of Love, biography of Sri Srimad Radharaman Charan Das Dev, the veritable embodiment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's universal religion of love, by Dr. o.b.l. Kapoor. Ajanjanati mirandasya anjananjana salakaya chakshuru militanjana tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaste Gurudevaya Sarvasiddhi Pradayine Sarvamagala Rupaya Sarvananda Vidyayine. Sankirtan in Krishna Nagar. Devendranath Chakrabarti, who was better known as Jainitai in Navadvip, had brotherly affection for Babaji Mahasai. One day he came to him and said, "Dada, let us go to Krishna Nagar one day." Babaji Mahasai said, "Yes, let us go tomorrow." So the next day, Babaji Mahasai and his party started for Krishna Nagar early in the morning, dancing and singing Sankirtan. All the way they reached the outskirts of Krishna Nagar at 9 a.m. Haralal Babu, the local police inspector, was attracted by the kirtan. He asked them, "Where are you going?" "We are going to Krishna Nagar," replied Devendra Babu. "Where you will stay?" "We don't not know. Maybe the Lord has arranged for our stay somewhere. I would request that you rest for a while in the garden of Sri Kanta Babu on the banks of the river Karhe and have prasad before you proceed to the town." They agreed. Hiralal Babu made adequate arrangements for the prasad of about 20 or 25 people. Soon news spread in Krishna Nagar that a Mahapurush had come and was staying in the garden house of Kanta Babu. People started coming to him for darshan. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Babaji Mahasai set out with his party, dancing and singing the name of the Lord as usual. Soon they reached near the college of Krishna Nagar. The college had just closed. The teachers and the students were coming out of the college premises. The melody of the Sankirtan rang in their ears. As they turned in that direction, they saw a tall and impressive-looking Babaji and his party dancing and singing in ecstasy. Tears incessantly streamed out of the eyes of the tall Babaji. His hair stood on end, and he trembled like one caught in a blast of emotion, which it was difficult to control. He was singing and inviting others to sing. He sang, "Sing, O sing in the Lord's name. They are but one, the Lord and the name. The Lord's name is so sweet, sweet, I pray. I bow down at your feet. Sing, O sing the Lord's name. The name will be blessed. The name will bless you with Krishna Prem." Important detail to understand here that back in time, and this was the traditional way of doing kirtan, back in time they sang different poetry, melodies, mainly improvised songs in the streets. There was not one mantra only in the street. Indeed, there was no one mantra at all, but there was some harinam, some name related to some poetry that the Kirtaniya had the ability to improvise live when he was doing the Sankirtan. This was the original and traditional way of doing Kirtan in the street and chanting out loud with the instruments. Adar Babu, the professor of the college, Brayalal Babu, the teacher of the collegiate school, found the invitation irresistible. They joined the Sankirtan party and began to sing and dance with them. The students also felt forcible, drawn, and began to sing and dance. The call was also heard by the shopkeepers, who came down from their shops to join the Sankirtan, and the passers-by. The woodcutter with the load of wood over his head, and the washerman with his load of clothes, all came and joined to create a gala of Sankirtan, such as the people of Krishnanagar had never seen before. Babaji Mahasai was so lost in ecstatic joy and emotion that he occasionally felt like losing out their consciousness and falling senseless on the ground, but he controlled himself by shouting, "Jai Nitai! Jai Nitai!" His shout seemed to rend the sky. Others also caught his emotion and were so transported that they sang and danced like those who had drunk deep of the cup of a divine drink. The procession marched on, and as it marched, it swelled in number. Slowly, night came in, and Babaji Mahasai stopped Sankirtan and returned to the garden. He and his companions took prasad, which Hiralal Babu had kept ready, and retired to rest. The next morning came Yogesh Babu, the local sub-registrar. He said to Babaji Mahasai, "I should be obliged if you and your party take prasad at my place this morning, and after resting for some time, start for Nagara Kirtan from there." Babaji Mahasai agreed. Yogesh Babu went back and told his mother and sister, "I have invited a Mahapurush for prasad today. 12 or 14 other sadhus will also come with him. Prepare the bhog with care and piety." Yogesh Babu's sister exclaimed, "Ma, I saw in a dream this morning that a tall Mahapurusha came to me and said, 'Didi, sister, I am very hungry. Give me something to eat.' I gave him a sana to sit, and then my sleep was broken. Maybe he is the same Mahapurush, but whosoever he may be, we should take care to prepare the bhog with piety." In this passage, we can realize how mystical was Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev, how powerful he was. Sure thing is that this was not Sri Radharaman Siddhi's mental power to do this dream to the Didi, but this was for sure was Nitai, because Nitai was supporting every single step of Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev. About 12 o'clock, Babaji Mahasai came singing and dancing along with his party. He continued the kirtan for some time. As soon as the kirtan was over, he said to Yogesh Babu's sister, "Didi, I am very hungry. Give me something to eat. Where is Ma?" Yogesh Babu's sister was stunned. She went and told her mother, "Ma, my dream has come true. The Mahapurush I saw in the dream was exactly like him, and he asked me for something to eat in exactly the same strain. Surely he must be a Mahapurush." Ma said, "Yes, Yogesh. Also said that it appears from him, from his face and figure and above, that he is a Mahapurush. His very sight induced bhakti." Very soon, bhog was offered to the deity and served. After taking prasad, Babaji and his companions rest for some time. At about 3:30 in the afternoon, they started for Nagara Kirtan. Nobody was invited for Kirtan, but many people had already gathered in the house of Yogesh Babu, and many were coming dancing and singing. Babaji Mahasai was by now very well known and highly respected by almost everybody in Krishnanagar. So most of the important persons of the town also came and joined a kirtan procession. They all sang and danced and clapped their hands in a state of spiritual frenzy evoked by the sight of Babaji Mahasai dancing and singing in a half-conscious state with tears streaming out of his eyes and all the other Sadvikavas manifesting themselves on his body. In that state, he extends his arms and clasps close to his heart anyone who came to join the procession, whether Hindu, Muslim, rich, poor, young, old, thus charging him, as it were, with the divine current of bhakti he had never experienced before. And he was also caught by the frenzy and began to sing and dance like others. The procession went around the city and returned to Yogesh Babu's house at about 9 p.m. Yogesh Babu's mother had kept the prasad ready. Babaji Mahasai and his companions took prasad and returned to Sri Kanta Babu's garden house, singing and dancing the amazing Harilot. This next lila is absolutely wonderful. It's so sweet. Please listen carefully. The amazing Harilot. Days rolled on like this. Every day Sankirtan procession went round Krishnanagar, and every day people were carried away by the flow tide of a spiritual frenzy generated by the Sankirtan into the land of transcendental bliss they had never known or experienced before. One day, as the procession was marching through a new route, Bhuvana Mohan, a devotee, was saying to his friends, "Everybody in Krishnanagar now regard Barha Babaji as a truly Barha Babaji, a great Babaji, or a Mahapurush. Here he is coming, singing and dancing in Sankirtan. If he leads the Sankirtan into my house, I will know that he is really a Mahapurush." As he said this, he saw that the Sankirtan procession had taken a new turn and was entering in the lanes in which Bhuvana Mohana Babu's house was situated. Bhuvana Mohan came forward and bowed down to the procession. Babaji Mahasai clasped him in his arms and entered his house, singing and dancing. In the middle of the courtyard of the house there was a tulasi plant on a raised platform. Babaji Mahasai and his party started going round and round the plant, dancing and singing. Crowds of other people entered the house and joined them. Interesting parenthesis here that Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev, every single time that somebody had some doubt on Nitai Gauranga movement in the Sankirtan, in the Kirtan, in the Harinam, then Sri Radharaman always took the challenge very personal, and he did some special miracles just to show the power of the Harinam and the movement of Sri Nitai Gauranga. And this was also here in the previous lines, the occasion that this happened, when these men say, if this is really a Mahapurush, then he will come to my house. And the Sankirtan move and turn its way and start coming from the same street and enter the house. So Sri Radharaman had a special consciousness that he was aware of everything, or also possible, or maybe both ways, that Nitai was giving the instruction directly to the mind of Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev. This theory is proved by the song, Sankirtan, Kirtan song, Bhajanitai Gaura Shanja Pore Krishna Ram, that it was bring directly by Nitai Ram and Gauranga to him. So all what Radharaman did in his lila, it was all guided and approved by Nityananda Ram and Sri Gauranga. At this time, Bhuvana Mohan Babu brought some batacha. Batacha is a dry sweet prepared from sugar. It's something to eat in a shalpatra, a plate made out of leaves. and gave it to Babaji Mahasaya for Harilot. Baba took the Shalpatra, the plate, in his hand and began to sing the song usually sung at the time of Harilot. The purport of the song was as follows: Come, come one and all and lot. Nitai is squandering the nectar of divine love in the form of Batasha. He is pouring from a pitcher containing the nectar. The more he pours, the more the nectar swells, and the pitcher always remains full up to the brim. Baba held the shal plate in his left hand, and he was dancing with his right hand lifted upward as he sang. All others were dancing and singing with him. He occasionally scattered batachas with his right hand and shouted, Haribol! People fell upon the batachas collected and ate them. So Babaji Mahasaya is dancing, singing kirtan, and at the same time he was taking some batasha from the plate and throwing to the devotees, all the people, all the crowd. And he shouted, Haribol. There were many people standing outside because the courtyard was packed to every inch. They were sorry that they could not participate in the Harilot. For their sake, Baba came out and began to scatter batachas all around. The lot, accompanied by dance and kirtan, went on for an hour, during which everybody was transported into ecstasy. Important detail, this Harilot went on for an hour. But the people were surprised to see that although Babaji Mahasaya was freely and repeatedly throwing a handful of batasha, the Shalpatra plate in his hand always remained full up to the brim. Suddenly Baba became aware of this and threw away the plate for fear of fame. And we can see the previous when the kirtan started. He sang, Come, come on one and all and lot. Nitai is squandering the nectar of divine love in the form of batasha. He is pouring from a pitcher containing the nectar. The more he pours, the more the nectar wells, and the pitcher always remains full up to the brim. This is the song that Babaji Mahasaya is chanting, and it became true through the 1 hour of kirtan. After this, Babaji Mahasaya renewed his onward march, singing and dancing as before. Slowly it became dark, but the Sankirtan party continued to swell in numbers. More and more people came with lanterns and torches and joined the Sankirtan. No one knew where and in which direction they were going. Only Babaji knew, and he was leading the procession like one who was well acquainted with all the lanes and by lane of the town. Although he had never been there before, he marched on, dancing and singing, and returned to the garden house through a route different from the one through which he had gone. In the next episode, we will read the Lila of the amazing footprints. That is it's a wonderful Lila, beautiful, full of sweetness, Madura. And from there came the Bhajani Taigo Radheshyam, Japa Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Kirtan, famous Kirtan song. Here is a note about the Bhajani Taigo Radheshyam, Japa Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. In page 159, I want to read what it reads. 159, all right? Just to have an introduction to this Kirtan song, Sankirtan, we will read this note. Bhajani Taigo Radheshyam, Japa Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. This Sankirtan song came to Babaji Mahasaya in a state of trance. It became his favorite song afterwards, because it contains in a nutshell the fundamental teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the end as well as the means. The first line describes the end, and the second the means to achieve it. The end is the realization of Nitai Gaur Radheshyam and their loving service. The means through which the end may be realized is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Bhaya means to meditate or to adore. Pave means will achieve. Japa means repeating the mantra on and counting the repetition over the beads of a rosary. Both Bhaya and Japa are mandatory. The Guru commands the disciple to meditate on Nitai Gaura, Radhe and Shyama and simultaneously repeat the Maha Mantra, because meditation is fruitful only when accompanied by Japa. Sri Jiva Goswami commentary on Bhagavatam 11.5. The order in which the name occurs after Bhaya is significant. Bhaya evokes the image of Guru, asking the disciple to meditate on Nitai Gaur, Radhe and Shyam. The invocation of the Guru is necessary before beginning of the meditation to make it fruitful. By the mercy of the Guru, Sadhaka attains the lotus feet of Nitai, because Nitai is the Guru Tattva, the Guru principle, and the Sadhaka's Guru is one of his prakashas or manifestations. The realization of Nityananda leads to the realization of Gauranga, and the realization of Gauranga to the realization of Radha Krishna, and the word Pave indicates. There is, however, some misunderstanding in regard to this kirtan inaugurated by Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev, which we shall do well to remove. It is sometimes supposed that it is a substitute for the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because some people chant this instead of Mahamantra during kirtan or Sankirtan, that is, in kirtan performed by a number of people together to the accompaniment of mirdangam, kartal and other instruments. But that is not a substitute for the Mahamantra. It is clear from the second line of the kirtan itself, which enjoined that during japa, one should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And from the fact that those who chant these lines during Sankirtan repeat only the Mahamantra while doing japa, they do not chant the Mahamantra during Sankirtan, because they say that there is no record that Mahaprabhu himself did it. In the first Sankirtan procession which Mahaprabhu led to the house of the Sant Kasi, there were 7 different groups performing Sankirtan, as shown in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and each group a different kirtan was sung. No group sang the Mahamantra. In his travel in South India, also Mahaprabhu is represented as chanting songs like Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam, and not the Mahamantra. Besides this, in his precept to the devotees, he prescribed the repetition of the Mahamantra in japa and singing other Sankirtan songs like Haraya Nama, Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Gopala Govinda Ram, Sri Madhusudam. This appears in Chaitanya Bhagavata 2, 23, 79 and 80. The reason why he did not prescribe the chanting of the Mahamantra during Sankirtan may have been that he regarded counting during chanting the Mahamantra as obligatory. He said that there was no rule regarding the chanting of Mahamantra except that it must be counted. Chaitanya Bhagavata 2, 23, 77, 78. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is stated that japa without counting does not bear fruits. Hari Bhakti Vilas 1760. The counting on beats during the performance of Sankirtan is impracticable or cumbersome, because during Sankirtan people usually dance or play on musical instruments while singing. In the case of Babaji Mahasaya, whoever we find in Charit Sudha, his biography in 6 volumes, write in Bengali, that at least in 2 occasions he asked his disciple to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra during Sankirtan, and he himself sat down and count, probably only to show that he was not against the chanting of Mahamantra in Sankirtan if someone count the repetitions. He usually chant Bhajanita Ego Radheshyam in Sankirtan because it did not require counting, also because Nitai Gaur are most merciful. The only purpose of their appearance is to deliver the weak and fallen souls in this age of Kali, and in so doing, they do not take into account their offenses. Chaitanya Charitamrita 1:8, 25, 28. Most people who ever chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in Sankirtan without counting, in the absence of an explicit mandate against it. It is true that neither Mahaprabhu nor the Shastra have issued a clear injunction against the chanting of Mahamantra in Sankirtan without counting. Great. Bhajani Gaur Radhesham Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Jai Radharaman Mahavira Ki Jai, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Radheshyam. We will meet again in the next episode. If you enjoyed this information, please subscribe, like, share, and leave your comment. This is the way to support a bona fide seva to the lotus feet of Shri Guru. Jai Jai Shri Radheshyam.